Yeah. Tell me what got gun on that dirt. Yeah.
Yo, if I were podcasting, it would be insane. Knowledge flowing like the sweetest rain. Professor Bear on the mic, spreading wisdom wide. Of best thoughts, that's my pride, can't hide.
With the voices in your ear, changing the game.
If I rule podcasting, every thought we'd ignite. In a world of chatter, with a spark in the fight. With Professor Bear, we're climbing to new heights. A best thoughts podcast, shining bright in the night. Topics from the heart, never sounding the same. Got laughs and debates, never dull or bland. From culture to tech, take you by the hand. Join the ride with us, feel the vibe expand. With every episode, we shine that beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul.
So tune in, don't miss what we got to share. If I rule podcasting, I spread the love everywhere.
Welcome, and thank you for joining me this evening. I am Professor Bear, and this is the Barz Thoughts. And my thought for today is 2026 has already been an amazing year so far. So far, so good. I have been blessed with having so many talented guests on my show. It has been so amazing to learn different backgrounds of the podcasters that have joined me and have been so willing to talk about their stories and what they do and everything. So I want to quickly give a shout out to all the podcasters out there who I didn't get a chance to reach out to or chose not to do the show. Whatever reason, I still appreciate y'all and keep doing your thing because we are a big part of the wrestling community that is definitely needed. With that being said, I have two gentlemen with me that I'm just going to be real because that's what I do. Me and my old man self who didn't want to get off of Facebook because that's just my pocket. But then I'm like, man, I got to get out there and do that advertisement. I got to get out there, and if I want people to know about me, I got to get out there. So I jumped on TikTok, and man, it's been real cool. But these particular gentlemen saw their work, and I was like, oh hell, I got to do something with them. They there. I love what they do, and they are very, very cool, and I can say all the different adjectives, but these gentlemen are from the Barz Wrestling Media. Guys, how are y'all doing this evening? Oh, what? Yeah.
You're muted, bro. You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
We're doing great. Well, actually, just to give a little bit of correction. All right, so Barz Wrestling Media is basically, my platform, and then Darkwing Dub has his platform called Vibing with Darkwing, and then he has the Darkwing, the Chronicles, or whatever, or Tabernacle, sorry, Darkwing Tabernacle. So that's how we differentiate. So when we combine together like Voltron, we become Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast. So yeah, that's who we are.
That's on me. As truth, that's on me.
That's on me. That's my bad.
Nah, it's cool.
Before we dive into it, gentlemen, I want to if y'all have been following me this month, you know I'm trying to make sure that my guests get out there and you get to see their work and just don't take my opinion by itself. So the QR code will lead you to their YouTube page. So please go check them out and show them love like y'all show me. Now, with that being said, y'all I always ask this question of my guests first thing. How did y'all become wrestling fans?
You want me to start, bro? I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So I started at a young age. I'm 40 years old now. The very first wrestling show I remember is I was sitting on the couch as a little guy, and WrestleMania 6 was on TV, and I saw Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. Never really was a Hogan fan, but there's something about the Ultimate Warrior that caught my attention. And ever since then, ever since WrestleMania 6, watching wrestling with my father, I've been hooked ever since.
All right.
As for me, similar story. So my uncle, God rest his soul, he's a professional wrestler. He wrestled in Nigeria. And my mother used to tell me all these stories. Now, I know Dub knows, but my family's from Nigeria, West Africa. So they came here back in 78. So my uncle was a professional wrestler, and one of his goals was to possibly wrestle in the United States one day. Now, back in Nigeria at that particular time, professional wrestling wasn't like a big commodity. And on top of that, too, you know what I'm saying? The type of wrestling that they did was a little bit more traditional and cultural to what they were used to over there. I forgot the exact name, but it'll come to me later on. But I'm going. So my mother used to tell me all these stories about, my uncle, how strong he was. He was the champion for 10 years. So I was always fantasizing. I always have these Hulk Hogan stories in my head of my uncle. She showed me pictures and all this stuff. So I was like, wow. So the first time I watched wrestling on TV, and this was way back when we had the big tube TVs with the dial or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing Hulk Hogan for the first time. I'm seeing Hulk Hogan getting stomped out by some midgets. I was like, "What's this?" So I'm like fantasized by it. I'm like, "What's going on here?" So me being like a combat sport type of guy, fan or whatever, immediately it gravitated my attention. So I started watching it, and I just got drawn in. And it's been a family thing ever since. My mother was a big wrestling fan. She took me to the WrestleMania that came to Atlantic City because I'm from New Jersey. So WrestleMania came to Atlantic City. I think it was either WrestleMania 3 or 4, one of them two. Right. You know what I mean? And she came, and it was at the casino. I believe it was at either Trump Plaza or one of them two.
Yeah, Trump Plaza.
Yeah, so we went there. And because she worked in the casino, she was able to get, like real good seats. So it was that time that I got locked in, and I never looked back since. Like, I've always loved professional wrestling. I'm not a tribalist. We're not tribalists. We watch all wrestling. It don't matter what wrestling it is, we watch it. And I just had love for wrestling ever since and never looked back.
One thing that I've found that is really I think is very encouraging is most times when I have my guest on, it's a family thing. It started with their family, someone liking it, and they got into it, and I always I'm very big on that because I think it's something that you can get your little ones to enjoy, and it leaves such a lasting impression on them that either when you get out of it for a little while, something always draws you back. No matter what I mean, you can go on with life, be a billionaire, but then one day you'll see it and like, oh hell, man, let me check this out. That made me think of me and Pops together, or me and Mom, or whatever. So I always love that about wrestling. So, so how did y'all translate from just being wrestling fans to becoming podcasters?
You want me to start this one, bro? All right, so what happened was we both are a part of the Wrestle Talk community. And we were making our rounds always on Wrestle Talk. So when I started my Barz Wrestling Media podcast, my goal was to mix hip hop and professional wrestling. As my boy could tell you, I'm a big hip hop head. I'm very much involved in music. I write my own music. I design my own stuff, everything, the whole 9 yards. So I was trying to combine what I do in rap into wrestling, similar to what you see them do now with West Side Gun and all these people from Griselda and whatnot. So similar to that. So as I always do my posting, I would get feedback and things like that. So one particular day, I made a post, and then I'm just checking my feed or whatever. I stumbled upon my brother here, and he was making a post, and I forgot exactly the topic he was talking about, but it was very intriguing. So I tapped in to see what he was talking about, and I agreed with him. So I shared his content, I liked it, and I shared it to my followers or whatever for him to get more feedback, because that's what I do. I always would either retweet or repost or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to all content creators when it comes to wrestling. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, I don't even have to agree with you sometimes. I'll just do it anyway because it's just for the love of the art. You know what I'm saying? So I did that, and then I didn't expect him to hit me back, so he hit me back. So he hit me back in a message, and then we started chopping it up. So from there, we started becoming real cool. So from then on, we started articulating, each other's stuff. Like, oh, maybe you should try this, or maybe you should try that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like iron sharpens iron. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how you get better. So we're doing that with one another in the text messages and whatever. And then we also met another brother who was also doing the exact same thing. If I'm gonna tell Dub laughing at me, but if I'm gonna tell the story, I gotta tell it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to be fair. So so we met another dude, and he was very influential in professional wrestling. So we also linked up with him. So now we're in like a group chat, discussing wrestling and whatnot. So me and the other brother was like, okay, we've been doing this for a minute. Now we're like maybe say a month or two almost into doing this. And we was like, all right, let's start a podcast. So I said, okay, so we're going to do a test run first. Let's see how we blend well together. So I went and did a few episodes on my channel with a brother named Jay. We did some episodes and whatnot. Then me and Dub was talking. Dub came in. So then we combined together. So we did like maybe 1 or 2 episodes together. Unfortunately, it didn't blend well together because, as you know, as a podcaster yourself, that proper podcast etiquette is important because that's what brings in the fans. Like, fans are very funny. Like, they will pick out the smallest thing and then they'll critique you on that. And because that one person, you'll be surprised, that one person that keep critiquing the same thing over and over again will make you lose subscribers. And at this point in time, we're like a small podcast. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah,
we're trying to build. So we didn't have proper podcast etiquette. So people will see that like our stuff. People will see that and they will hit us up in the messages. They will either hit me up or they'll hit Dub up. So that me and Dub was talk about it. So then one thing led to another, you know what I'm saying? And we had a group meeting, and you know how some people are sensitive. They don't like to take creative criticism. Me and Dub, we criticize each other all the time because we want to become better. You understand what I'm saying? I would give him opinion on what he's doing. He'll give me my opinion. Just today, he told me, bro, you need to get back on your music because of the AI stuff that I'm doing with AI, writing like basically ghost writing for AI and using my matrix self to like put out these freestyles that I really didn't expect to come out the way they are, but they're coming out pretty good and they're getting like thousands of views and I didn't even expect that. So he was pushing me to get back into my music, which I'm slowly transitioning into doing that. But I was just so much focused into the wrestling podcast. You know how you focus into something and you don't want to lose the momentum.
yeah.
So my motive was, okay, I don't want us to lose our momentum, so I gotta stay in the pocket. So I let my music go to the side for the time being. But anyway, get back to the story. So one thing led to another, and we had to part ways with Jay. So it was me and Dub. So I couldn't. I can't.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but the handshake got me.
Yeah. And trust me, it's a lot more. It's a lot longer than what I'm telling. I cut a lot of the fat out of it. You know what I'm saying? So we can get to the climax of the story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So one thing led to another. We had to part ways. So it was just me and Dub. By that time, we yeah. So by that time, we were already established with a name, and we was calling ourselves Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast. So then we was like, okay, now that it's me and him, we gotta start finding our lane. Like, what are we good at? So Dub is very animated. So we started going off of that with his animated and whatever like that. So I started, because at first Dub didn't want to really talk much. So I'm like, yo, man, you got to, because this is how we're going to know where we're going to go back and forth at. So we got to find his niche and we got to find my niche as a unit, not as singles, but as a unit.
Right.
So Dub is more of the charismatic, goofy, funny, cracking jokes. I'm more of the serious guy, right? So I'm like, okay, so we're going to stem off of that. And we kept building on that, and people liked it, especially when we crack jokes on one another and we go back and forth, but we still keep it funny enough to keep people intrigued. Right. So when it came to that part, I said, yo, we got him. Now let's build on that. And we slowly built on that. to the point where we just developed a real good fan base. Excuse me, I mean my daughter right here
No,
next to me.
no, it's no problem. I was actually gonna say, like, oh, who's that little cutie right there?
Yeah, that's my daughter. So then you know, one thing led to another, and we started to build off that, and it became to a point that, you know, this is what we were known for. So then that's when we started getting into different facets. As far as what we do, as far as wrestling, it's not just wrestling, it's sports in general. But our main foundation is professional wrestling. But we tackle boxing, we just started tackling basketball, we tackle UFC stuff. So we tackle all those things, but the core is professional wrestling. And since then, it's just been great. You know, we've had legends. Our inaugural episode, we had the Pope D'Angelo De Niro on the show. You know what I mean? And you know, and that gave us an alley oop. That really put us in a space that we didn't even expect to be in so soon. And then from there, we had Odyssey Jones. Shout out to Odyssey. We had him on there. We had Buff Bagwell on here. We had Savio Vega, Ahmed Johnson. All these names just started trickling to us.
What I found funny about that, the Ahmed one, was I think it was either a day or two before I had Ahmed on my show.
Oh yeah.
And when I saw him on y'all's, I was like, oh man, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And what and I'm just, again, being honest, I've seen y'all shows and clips. Y'all are doing your thing because y'all are all over the place. And I honestly didn't put two and two together. Look, again, I'm an old man, and you know, sometimes my focus, when I'm focused on something, I'm that. So
you try to say that I'm an old man too, right?
So I miss, as much as I'm very detailed and I try to stay aware, but it's the simple stuff that blows right past me because I be in that zone.
Right.
And I've seen y'all stuff, and I'm like, okay, oh, I'm gonna check them out. Then what, like I said, what linked me was the TikTok page with y'all in particular. But I've seen y'all on Facebook. I've seen y'all when I go on X. I've seen y'all there. Y'all are all over the place. Y'all are doing your thing.
We appreciate it, and that's really, you know, just off of networking and, you know, just trying to stay as consistent as possible and trying to stay locked in on all the platforms, which, you know, not for nothing, it could be pretty difficult because of the simple fact that, you know, like trying to keep up with all this stuff can be rough, but we try our best to do what we have to do. A lot of the stuff that is going on with us right now, I have to give up to my boy, you know, because he's been locked in. Like I told you, we run our podcast like a wrestling promotion. So he's been locked in as far as like getting the acts on our show and things like that and communicating with them because, you know, not for nothing, we have to find each other's strong suit. My strong suit is the creative side. His strong suit is booking. So how can we make that work? Okay, so I gotta let him do his thing. He gonna let me do my thing, and then we come together in a meeting and we work things out. And like I said, you know, I know that the story was kind of long-winded, but you know, that's basically the gist of, you know, how we got things going. You know, I know Dub can tap in and give his side too.
First off, that dude you talking about, we kicked him off. He being nice. He being nice.
And again, seeing y'all and keeping y'all in my radar, I thought it was three of y'all. honestly. So that explains why I was sitting there trying to get my studio together, and I'm like, shit, is it 2, 3? I just wait, and when they tell me, we'll adjust it however we got to do it. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you good. You good. No. The dude was like, he was, to put it lightly, he was going crazy. So we did what we had to do to make sure that we didn't lose the show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I like to look at us more like along the lines of, I'm the heel, he's the baby face. Because I look at it like that because I do, as you can tell, get pretty animated. And a lot of I'm bringing myself down a little bit because typically I let the words fly. Ask him, I be cussing all over the place, and part of that is because I did 10 years in the Army also. So,
okay,
cussing is my first language.
I feel you on that. I definitely feel you.
Yeah, so I'm pretty tame right now because this isn't my show or our show. This is your show, so I don't know the audience. So I'm like,
well, and I will say, feel free to cuss. We're adults on here, so
don't tempt me with a good time. But no, everything he said is true. We did have a third, like you said, but honestly, we really had to just part ways. Too many people were reaching out to us, like say just telling me and him, like, if we don't do something about this, we're gonna bring the entire show down. So we finally had to do something about it because one thing is for certain, one thing is for sure. We bust our tails for our show. Like, I like to make fun of him that he's old and all this other jazz, but it can get overwhelming at times. It really can. Like, we were supposed to record yesterday, and I called him, and he didn't answer. And I woke up to a text message this morning saying he was just tired. Hey, I get it. I get it. I get tired too. You know what I'm saying? So it can be a lot at times, but then again, it's just so much fun for us. It's so much fun. Like, I like to crack jokes. He likes to crack jokes. But when it's time to get serious and get down to business, we get serious and get down to business. I mean, one show in particular that I can think of is a show about racism that we did. And we got serious and down to business. And I was letting it fly because I live in Oklahoma. So you can imagine what I experienced, right?
Oh,
whereas
yeah.
he's in New Jersey, he might experience, but he doesn't experience to the level that I experienced. So
I definitely say, and not to try to measure who gets the racism or any of that, but me being in Tennessee, I feel you.
Yeah. Well, I say all that just to say, like, you know, we have fun when it's time to have fun. We get serious when it's time to be serious. We get these wrestlers on, like, we treat them like they one of the family. You know what I'm saying? We crack jokes with them. We fill them out to see how the interview is going to go. And 9 times out of 10, they was like, man, I'm so glad I came on the show. You know, it's such a good time. It's like one of the better interviews that, you know, they've had. Like, we like to highlight the smaller promotions like Ashe Wrestling. We really like to highlight them. We've had a lot of their wrestlers on the show. Shout out to Ugly Gang. You know, we've talked to guys from Booker T's promotion, LeBron Cozone's promotion. I mean, we don't just focus on the big promotions like AEW, WWE. We focus on, we've had the Kazana brothers from NWA on our show.
Them are family. They are family. They are some of the sweetest people on earth. I swear. Their dad and them. Anytime, I'll tell y'all a quick story. So, in December, me and my brother decided to go to wrestling together. We hadn't went together in probably like 20, 25 years. So he was bringing his girlfriend's son with us. He's 9 years old, never been to wrestling, first time. So we were going to a Joe Canzana show. So I reached out to AJ and didn't get him. We get to the show asked to see AJ. Well, his dad came out instead. He was like, Professor Barr, what's going on? How you doing? I'm like, man, I'm doing good. He said, I hadn't seen you in a minute. I said, yeah, you know, life be lifing. And I was like, and I pulled him aside and I said, hey, I said, you know, I never ask anything. I always do pay my admission, no issue. I said, I got my little nephew with me. This is his first time going. And I want to make it kind of special. I was wondering maybe if I could get a ringside seat. And he looked at me. Then he started talking to my nephew. Well, my nephew we didn't tell him we were going to wrestling. So his face, what? So needless to say, he got us in. We sitting ringside. The Casanas had a match, a tables match. And just so happened they set the table up on our side of the ring and they busted it. So pieces everywhere. And we sitting there, and my brother's like, "You man, go and get you a little piece of that table." And he got him a little small piece, and the guy sitting beside us, we didn't know him from nowhere. He's like, "Oh, that's not a piece, son. Let me show you what to do." He reached up, grabbed a piece about that big, gave it to him. All the wrestlers that we talked to signed that board for him. I had interviewed the NWA World Champion. He gave me the first interview. Silas Mason, love you for that. And I'm not going to say I'm going to kick your butt because I know better. Anyway, he took pictures with him. He signed his board. Everybody was super nice. But none of that would have been possible without the Casanas. They are just, like I said, super sweet. But I'm sorry, sometimes stuff happens. I got to get it out. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. I mean, and that's another thing. Like, this is all fun for us, man. Like the fact that you reached out to us for us to come on your show, like, it is much appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're getting to the point to where people are starting to reach out to us. Like, wrestlers have reached out to us about them coming on our show, stuff like that. Hey, real quick, Thrill Billy, if you're listening to this, we'd love to have you on the show. Anyways,
I would talk to him for you. I got y'all.
Yeah, because I've sent him messages. I've sent him an email and I've sent him a message on Instagram, waiting to hear back from him. Would love to have him on the show.
Afterwards, we'll talk.
Okay. But yeah, it's like I said, it's fun for us. This is something that, you know, we, as you know from the beginning of the show, this is something we've been loving since we were kids, and we're both in our 40s now. And he can attest. My 5-year-old son will sit right next to me and watch Monday Night Raw. Last night he sat right next to me to watch Dynamite, and then I was watching NWA on the Roku channel. He was like, "Oh, Dad, I never seen you watch this." I said, "Boy, I've been watching this." He was like, "Ooh, I like this." So he's sitting there watching NWA with me too. So it's crazy because you said that this stuff goes generations. I'm like, I remember when I was his age, sitting next to my father watching wrestling, and now he's sitting next to me watching wrestling. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is what I think a lot of people don't realize, because they use that F word, wrestling fake and wrestling this and that. It's like any other thing that can bring a family together. It brings, provokes memories. And back in the days, that somebody will say a key word and immediately you go back to when you were a kid and what your family did around wrestling. And for me, I think that's the greatest thing in the world. One of the things too that I always hit on is, as much as I love the big shows, AEW, WWE, New Japan, all those, I enjoy independent shows more, just for a couple of reasons. One, it's a different type of feeling when you go to an independent show. I always call it a family reunion, because whether you know the people or not, you feel y'all, we have a bond, and we can bond together. If you go consistently, if you miss a time, when you come back, hey, you okay? Everything good? Man, we didn't see you at the last show, and that's not like you. It's that type of atmosphere. And a lot of times I will close my eyes to listen. If I feel like I'm in a 20,000 room arena, I know the crowd is hot. It could be 6 people, but if they give that energy, you know it. So, with that being said, if you have what do y'all bring with y'all podcast that is different from any other podcast?
I feel like I've already said it. My mannerisms and his mannerisms. I feel like a lot of times people will start these podcasts and get on these podcasts and just want to act one way. You know what I mean? Like they would just want to be straight laced about everything. Or you start these podcasts and you have a co-host, like me and him, a co-host, and all they want to do is agree with each other. Like, no. First thing, we don't always agree with each other. We'll go back and forth. And that makes for good shows too. Like it's good to hear other opinions other than what you're hearing from somebody like JD from NY. It's good to hear that the difference. And then on top of that, I was telling him on the phone because we have a little thing going on right now. I'll let him get into that because that's his baby. But where I am very animated. I'm the what I say on the phone. I can't remember what I said on the phone, and he's just like the calm one. He's like intense, but calm intense. Whereas I'm the one that's gonna be right in your face. I feel like,
You're passionate.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's not passionate, but I show mine.
Right,
more.
right. And that's what I was leaning to. You're quick to be able to say, look, this is what I said, this is what I mean. You need this, and you explain yourself. But it seems so animated and worked up.
Yeah. Whereas he's the more calm, articulate one. Where I'm gonna fly off the handle and he's gonna be like, nah, bro, we gotta, he tries to bring me down sometimes, but then he'd be like, why would I do that? Why would I do that to him? That's him. Let him be him. And then he'll just let me do my thing. And then he'll just be the calm, articulate one. He's still intense, but in a more calm, articulate way. And I feel like that's what makes our show different than anybody else's because, number one, we allow each other to do our thing, but we still know how to come together and make it a damn good show.
I like that.
Yeah, not for nothing too. Like, we like what he said, we allow each other to be ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's important too when it comes to podcasting, being itself, without having to go be too much out of pocket. We stay within our realms of, creativity or whatever. You know what I'm saying? With me, he's right. I'm more laid back, cool, calm, and collected, more cerebral, like for me to fly off the handle, you really gotta get me like, what I'm saying, worked up. and like, when I am worked up, he'll tell you it's hard to like bring me down. You know what I'm saying? Because then I'll just be like all over the place, and that's kind of the reason why I kind of like stay within my lane as far as calmness, you know what I'm saying? But there is sometimes where I'll get, a little bit, animated with certain things, in particular. But like, we're just creatively different, for the most part when it comes to our podcasting style. We're not afraid to take risk and, add certain elements to our show. Like I told you off camera, we're doing the whole AI thing, like AI is like the perfect tool when it comes to podcasting. And like I would tell anybody this, give it a try. You don't have to be like everybody else that's using AI. Let AI work for you, not you work for AI. You get what I'm saying? So what we do on our show is like we picture everything like it's a wrestling promotion, and then we map things out. So as you see our podcast, we got a ring announcer. As you see our podcast, we got backstage promoters. As you see our podcast, we ourselves have our matrix version of ourselves in the wrestling promotion. You know what I'm saying? We hold the titles. We the tag champions. You know what I'm saying? We also hold another title. We got our individual titles. You know what I'm saying? Like we make it interesting. We dabble with it. Right now we're in the process of building a wrestling PLE with our AI characters. You know what I'm saying? We're doing stuff like that. Also, if you want to dive even deeper into it, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing what my boy asked me to do. You know what I'm saying? What he told me to do, getting back to my musical roots. I'm writing the storylines for a lot of our AI characters. I'm writing music that we can blend into our podcast. I'm doing all these things, you know what I'm saying, to make us level up and stand out. Because you don't want to be caught into the pocket of what everybody else is doing. You want to have your own lane. And I think that's what's important, to have your own lane. Like your podcast, you're different from everybody else. We have to find our identity and be different from everybody else. And not for nothing, just months ago, we really didn't have an identity. We just knew we were creative minds. And then shortly thereafter, we found our lane and we stuck with it. And it's been working for us ever since. So, that's what we've been doing for the past few months now, is just building off of that type of lane that we've created for ourselves. And it's worked,
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you find out what works for you and executing it, you don't want to be the same old. You want to find something different, but in the same token, you want to stay true to yourself. I've seen so many different podcasters that elements goes 1 2 3 1 2 3, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but everybody else is doing 1 2 3. Why don't you do 26 14 20 and make it you? Because again, as much as it is competition, you can still have great relationships with other podcasts. You can get ideas from and bounce things around, but be different. So I definitely get it and appreciate that. Because again, you all have been on my radar, and me being busy and stuff, I still's like, oh man, they doing this. Okay. I got to check them out. Or in a minute, I got to write them down. So when I forget everything else, I can have my list. I can go back and check it out. What do y'all feel about the wrestling of today versus back when you all were younger?
I'll start real quick. All right, so the wrestling of today is very much different. And the reason why I say that is that for the most part, kayfabe is dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know everything. When we were coming up and watching wrestling, there was no internet. So you couldn't go find the latest wrestler that's jumping promotion. Like, prime example, when Ric Flair came to WWF the first time, I didn't know he was coming to WWF. I knew him from WCW and NWA. When he came to WWF with by the way, I believe he was with the WCW belt, and he came with Bobby the Brain Heenan on Wrestling Channel. It was either Wrestling Channels or Main, one of them two. He came on the show. I'm like, yo, that's Ric Flair. What is he doing here? I didn't know he was coming to WWF. You know what I'm saying? So it was a surprise. It was a surprise. It was a shock. You know what I'm saying? Now you look at wrestling, we can find out everything. Everybody's in the know. You got WWF, WWE Unreal. You know what I'm saying? They exposed everything, you know? And in some cases it's cool, in most cases it's not. Because I don't want to know everything. Of course, we have to know some because we need the content to do our show or whatnot. But I would like to be surprised, you know? Like, I don't need to know what's going on backstage. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know that, oh, before the show, we had to go do this and go do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, save that for a different point of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there should be some secrecy when it comes to professional wrestling. And there really isn't anymore. That's one. Two, when it comes to professional wrestling, why it's different is the bigger wrestlers, the more muscular athletes are more athletic now. You know what I'm saying? I think when I started seeing the athletic wrestlers that were big and muscular evolve was when I seen people like Vader and Scott Steiner doing backflips and 450s, and these guys are over 300 and something pounds, especially for Vader doing a backflip, and then Scott Steiner doing a Steiner liner and whatnot. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just different. You don't expect
Frankensteiner.
The Frankenstein, yeah, Frankensteiner. So it was just different. Like, you didn't see stuff like that. So when you talk about athleticism in the big man nowadays, I feel like people like that kind of like laid the foundation for the people like the Keith Lees, who Keith Lee, as big as he is, this dude jumped over a 6 foot something man. You know what I'm saying? Where do you see that at? That's unreal. This man jumped over the top rope and did a front flip. Where do you see that at? That's unreal for a big guy to do that. So, you know, I feel like the evolution of the big guy has become more of athletes than they ever was. And getting back to,
I would also say just the athleticism overall, not just in the big man, but like just overall. I mean, because if you think about the early 2000s when Rey Mysterio, guys like Rey Mysterio really became big, you wasn't seeing half the shit that we're seeing now. I mean, you had Billy Kidman doing the shooting star press, but like that's like an everyday move now. Back then, that was just like, oh my gosh, he really just did that. Now you got people like Will Ospreay, Ricochet, and so on and so forth that do this in every match. Like it's nothing to them. So I would also say just the athleticism overall.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And then, you know, also the evolution of factions. Factions have become even bigger in professional wrestling now. There's so many factions.
And the reason I busted out laughing because me and my friends talk about how big will the damn Don Callis family get?
There you go. There you go.
They're trying to be the new NWO. Fuck it. You wrestle. Come on. You can be a part of this too.
They just gonna say that. I knew you were gonna go there. I knew it.
They just recruited Jake something. They got Andrade back. You know what I'm saying? So have you noticed? They basically got every nationality in their faction. Every nationality's in their faction just about. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy to me. Crazy to me. Don Callis's family has become the new dangerous alliance in AEW. That's what Don Callis family is. He got If you want mid-carders, he got mid-carders. You want the main eventers, he got the main events. You want the lower tier guys, he got some lower tier guys. Like, he basically got every tier level in his faction.
The only thing he is missing are women. And I've been waiting on him to get some women in there.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if this year he recruits a female into the family. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel like the factions thing has really exploded into a bunch of areas. You talk about factions, you got the Judgment Day, which really I think is going to start dying down now in 2026. I don't think they're going to be much of a faction anymore. Coming towards the end, I think everybody's going to go their separate ways. I think their best time was when they were with Edge. When they had Edge, that's where I feel like they were at their highest point, because that's where they were interesting. When they started adding these other little trinkets in there, it was okay. And then after that, it kind of just fell sour. When it started falling sour is when they started getting like a little bit too comical. They were more of a serious faction, and then they started like getting too comical, doing all these jokey jokes and whatnot. When they had Edge, they was more of a serious faction. It was all about their business. So now I think they're coming to a point where everybody's going to go their separate ways.
They should have been the end of that shit. They tripping.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. The funny thing is, and if anybody says different, I would love to debate them on this. But after Edge left, they thought, okay, they're dead. And they kept going. Mm-hmm. And we were surprised, like, man, end this. But then they actually went up, did some good stuff. And it's like, okay, they're teasing. They're teasing the breakup. It's like every other week they tease a breakup. Just now it's like, okay, do like you do a horse. When that horse come up lane, the thing you do is pull him out in the back, put a bullet in his head to get rid of him. That's what I
yeller his ass.
Yes. That's exactly what I feel about the Judgment Day. They've went way beyond what they should have went, and they've done some great things. I would not take that away from them, but enough is enough. Let's put some dirt on them and go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think,
felt like my bad.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this. I think another reason why they have been able to last for so long is Dominic Mysterio. I think Dominic Mysterio kind of like, kept them afloat, because before we knew him for who he is now, when he turned heel, he immediately got that heat. And they went from being the mediocre Judgment Day to the like, oh, okay, I'm going to start paying attention Judgment Day, because I this is my opinion. I just feel like because of him, they've been able to stay afloat for a certain period of time. And you can add Damian Priest's participation in there too, because they took him very serious as a main event person. So yeah, but you go ahead, Doug.
Man, listen, this is one of the times where we don't always agree, right? Number one, they should have ended it when Rhea and Damian left. Dominic didn't need the Judgment Day to have the heat that he got.
I agree with you.
That he didn't have to stay in the Judgment Day to get the heat that he got. The heat that he got was strictly organic, whether if he was in the Judgment Day or not. He didn't have to be on the Judgment Day for that to work. And number two, Finn Balor should have been the left.
Oh yeah,
should have been the left. I know we're getting off topic here, but Judgment Day was brought up. Finn Balor should have been the left. Finn Balor probably, after his feud with Damian Priest, is when Finn should have split too, because Finn is due for a singles run.
Oh God, don't get me started on how to waste a great wrestler. Finn, I'm gonna say it like this. If they would have let Finn be the Finn of NXT, they could have got some serious money and legitimacy out of that, I believe. It's the Big Show conundrum, what I call it. You have an athlete that you really believe in, and they take him down a jokey road. Then they decide, okay, we're got to get him serious again. But as soon as people don't find him as serious, it takes a while. Then the bills start, and as soon as we like, okay, he's back to being serious, they flip him back to the jokey, and it's like, how do you expect anybody to take a person serious when you flip flop them every other week? Yeah, Finn is a wasted talent in WWE.
And I felt like they did a good job by sending him back down to NXT to feud with the Adam Coles and the stuff like that. And then once Adam Cole left and they brought him back up, okay, what are we going to do with him? And blah, blah, blah. And then we have him join the Judgment Day. Okay, that was cool for a little bit, but fans are to the point to where now they are ready to see him away from the Judgment Day, just like they were ready to see Rhea, just like they were ready to see Damian Priest outside of the Judgment Day. We are ready to see Finn Balor outside of the Judgment Day. Put him back in that rightful place of being in the main event scene, because Lord knows that man is a main event monster, and that's where he needs to fucking be. And I wish Triple H would get that through his thick, big nose skull. Listen, bro, Finn Balor is a main event superstar that you're ruining by keeping him in the Judgment Day in the tag team division. Why?
Do not get me started on Raw's tag team division. We will be here forever.
This is your show. Wherever you want to take it, we'll go.
Oh God.
I'm not going to front. The tag team division is really sucky. Like
on both shows.
Yeah, on both shows. The tag team division. Street Profits? Oh man, don't get me started on where the Street Profits are.
Where's the Motor City Machine Guns?
Let me tell you something, man. They missed the opportunity so many times to turn these guys heel, or to have Montez Ford go rogue and go into the faction with the Vision, because originally that's what everybody thought they was going to happen. Now, mind you, I don't have an issue with Austin Theory being a part of the Vision, but I just thought that
I do. He don't bring shit.
I thought Montez Ford would most likely be a better fit, because he needs that. You know what I'm saying? He's a lot older than Austin. I felt like he needed that, but they didn't give it to him, so I let it go. But honestly speaking, I hope they do something with the Street Profits as a whole, or they do something with Montez Ford and his partner somewhere down the line, because I don't think it's fair to have them off of TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just I don't know, man. I don't know what Triple H is doing with that whole thing. So.
I've heard the rumor that they are gonna let the contract run out. Now that's just what I heard, and there are talents that do not get the chance to flourish in a promotion for one reason or the other. I won't sit here and act like they don't see the star that the Street Profits could really be. And of course, everybody wants Montez to get that singles run. They see him as next world champion. And I wouldn't argue that, but I'd say don't sleep on his partner because he is determined. Because he's heard that so much, Montez this, Montez that. And he's not hating on his brother. He's just saying, okay, I'm going to show y'all that we both can be top stars. And again, the writings, I just don't understand. And the reason why I give SmackDown a pass on their tag team division is at least they were putting their guys out there. You had real tag teams. I mean, they done slowed down and made her. It's amazing where I can make over $100,000 eating food. Man, I need that. That's what I need. I mean, because you come to the job ready to work, and they're like, yo, we don't have nothing for you, but go ahead, sit in catering. We might have something for you. They fly me out to eat food to fly me back in. You know, hey, get your money, right? But a lot of athletes don't want that because they want to do what they love. And that's why you will see people give up big contracts to actually do what they love to do. And again, the wrestling world is in such a better place where you can live on the indies and make some great money. That's why I love the position we are in with wrestling now. You do not have to be in WWE. You don't have to be in AEW to make damn good money and make a living for yourself. So before we wrap this up, my question to y'all, 2026, who do y'all see breaking out as far as a singles competitor, a women's competitor, and tag team? Who do y'all got your eyes on in 2026?
You want to start?
I would like to see Obafemi just come. He don't even necessarily got to win the championship right off the bat, but I want to see him dominate the way Shawn Michaels and NXT, he dominated down there. I want to see that domination on this because if he's going to, I don't know if they've announced if he's going to be on Raw or SmackDown. I thought I heard a rumor that he was going to be on SmackDown. If he's going to be on SmackDown, if you think about it like this, you got Gunther, Braun Breaker. Those are your two dominant guys over there. Those are your guys that are just going to tear the house down no matter who you are. SmackDown, who they got? Drew McIntyre. Who else? Obafemi is going to be that guy. He needs to be that guy. And I honestly wouldn't mind seeing him win the Royal Rumble. That's how much I believe in Obafemi. I believe he should win the Royal Rumble. I believe he should go to WrestleMania, and I believe he should wrestle Drew McIntyre. Whether if he wins it or not, I don't care. But I feel like he should be shot straight up to the top of the mountain. There's no other talent like him in WWE. I don't even believe there's a talent like him on AEW's roster either, because I think it was Shawn Michaels said it himself, like he's never seen anybody take on the wrestling business like Obafemi has. And then he has the athleticism, he has the strength. We know he has a strength because he did the track and field at Alabama. So we know he has the strength. He has the speed. He has the look. Everybody says WWE likes their what does Big E say? Like them big meaty men. WWE likes their big meaty men, as we just found out with Hobbs possibly going there.
Yeah.
So, and another one, if Hobbs does end up over there, Hobbs and Oba, like, so that's the person I think that should absolutely take over is Oba. As far as women go, honestly, give me Sol Ruka. Give me Sol Ruka. I mean, I love Bailey. Everybody knows I like me some Lyra. But but Sol Ruka. I think when it comes to, I think Shawn Michaels at NXT has done a damn good job in the past few years of building up some young talent that the main roster desperately needs. They desperately need to get away from the older talent and start utilizing these younger talent. Like, we've seen Javon Evans, we've seen Trick Williams, we're now seeing Carmelo Hayes, we're seeing Ilya Dragunov. We're seeing these younger talent actually take over the main roster. And I think the women are on their way of getting it. Sol Ruka, Kalani Jordan, Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, even though I don't like the way they're booking Julia, that's another story for another day. But, but I want to see Sol Ruka. I have no hate against AEW, none whatsoever. I actually love what they're doing. I think we actually did an award show at the end of the month, and we actually gave AEW Promotion of the Year. I love AEW. I just think that right now, WWE has the younger talent that could, if booked properly, could shoot them into the next stratosphere. If Triple Nose can book him properly, they should go into the next stratosphere. Did you say tag team?
Yeah.
I would like to see Speedball and Kevin Knight take the next step. I think they do this year.
It's funny you say that, because if y'all don't want to hear a spoiler, close your ears. But
I already know what you're about to say.
Hangman and Jet Speed take the 6-man titles, which I thought was a great call. Even if Hobbs didn't leave, I still think it's a great call. It's going to help establish them even more. Because I'm not going to lie. I've known about Speedball Bailey. I've heard everybody talk about how great Speedball is. I wasn't feeling him until the damn Continental Classic. I gladly eat my words about Speedball Mike Bailey. Him and Kevin are the truth. Continue doing well with them.
Absolutely. Yeah, so yeah, those are the ones that I see: Obafemi, Sol Ruka, and Jet Speed.
All right.
And, as for me, I'm gonna piggyback off of what he said about Obafemi. First of all, Nigeria all day. You got listen. Let me adjust this mic. Listen. You got one of the biggest, toughest mofos in your hands right now. If you don't shoot this guy up to the moon, then you don't deserve to have this guy's contract once his time is up to extend it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have the opportunity right now to put the belt on this guy, or at least put him in a type of zone that establishes him as the future. He's young, he's gifted, he has the gift of gab, period. You don't need to add no sedatives to this dude. Because they have a problem where every time they get somebody like this guy, they want to sprinkle some adobo or whatever on him and try to make him something that he not. AI carrying Cross. You should have left that man alone. You should have left carrying Cross alone. Should have left him alone and let that man do his thing. Karrion Kross was world championship material, and you ruined his character. Then when he revamped his character just to bring himself back, you didn't want to do nothing with him. So you better not do it with Oba. You better not do it with Oba. Triple H, get it together, because this guy is the future. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about dominance? This guy is Monty Brown. You got Monty Brown within this guy. You got Ahmed Johnson within this guy. You got Bobby Lashley. Look, I can name every single black athlete that this guy embodies, and I'm telling you right now, he's the guy. You better do right by this dude. Listen, you better do right by him. But yeah, you know.
I got to add one person in that mix. To me, that's the modern day Samoa Joe. Man, I love the way he talks. You think when you have a beast of an athlete, they are not intelligent and can't talk. I love hearing him break something down. It just go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to add that one.
Oh, no. Definitely. Like, his promos are crazy. Like, every time this man talks, I get hyped up because he says, who the heck says I'm the mountain that you can't climb? He said, I'm the ruler. I'm the ruler. And then when his walk, you know what I'm saying? This
aura.
Dude is his aura itself. He's like Thanos. Picture Thanos, Apocalypse, the Incredible Hulk, Dark Side, all in one. That's this dude right here. So you better do right by him, Triple H.
He broke Cody Rhodes down before Saturday night's main event. I was like, oh, he in trouble.
Yeah. Like, this dude has all the intangibles. So I don't want to hear no excuses like Oba is not ready. He's been ready. You better shoot this dude up to the stratosphere, because this guy is world championship material, either brand. He is going to put something on that title that has never been put before. I don't even need to say anymore. Y'all already got the gist of it. If you're talking about females,
see, this is what I mean when I say he be getting hyped sometimes. Like, sometimes he's not calm.
Look, no, he the first thought that came to my mind, you went Stephen A. Smith on somebody's ass.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, like Oba is that guy. And it's great to see somebody like you know what I'm saying, on TV that for a fact that he's world championship material. All they gotta do is just put him in the situation and then let him take over. That's all they gotta do. Like I said, if you're talking about females, I mean, there's a bunch of females that I would like to see do well, but there's one particular female that I have on my radar that I think will do exceptionally well once she gets to the main roster, and I feel that is going to be the who I'm talking about already. Why am I getting a brain fart? She just returned to NXT.
Miss Parker.
Yeah, Miss Parker.
You would say Miss Parker.
Chill, yo. Yeah, I just think I think she improved so fast, it's not even funny. Like, I feel, to me personally, I feel like she's main roster ready, but I do understand why they gotta keep her down there for some time because they already gutted most of the talent from NXT. So I get and understand why she has to stay down there. But I think she's going to have a breakout year this year. And I think she's going to do some amazing things. Her wrestling has improved. Everything with her has improved. It's just about putting her in the right situation to take her to that next level. That's what I think it is for her. Putting her in the right situation, take her to the next level, and she's going to go to the moon with it. Tag teams. You know what? Man. There's a few tag teams within professional wrestling that I've been paying attention to. But honestly speaking, as far as tag teams, I definitely would like to see. I know he said Jet Speed. Um, mm, 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 um, I guess I mean, there's a few tag teams on my radar, but I guess I'll just stay with Jet Speed because like right now they're one of the few tag teams that are like consistently on television. You know what I'm saying? I know the other promotions got tag teams, you know what I mean? But these guys have been consistently on television, and they've been and not for nothing, they're a pretty good mashup together. I'll
Yeah.
tell you a story. So remember how you talked about your taking your nephew to his first wrestling show? Okay, so when my son turned 9 over the summer, I took him to his first wrestling show as a surprise. He didn't know where he was going. So we get in the car. Now, mind you, I couldn't bring all my kids because they're just too young. So, you
Right.
know what I mean? But he's older and mature enough to, understand, don't try to jump over the rail and do all that
Right.
stuff. So I said, I'm gonna take him to his first wrestling show. So I took him to AC and we went to Collision. And when we got to Collision, we was in the very front. I actually have video footage. If you go on my TikTok, you can see the video footage for yourself. My son could not believe what he was seeing. And the first person that stood out to him was Kevin Knight. He's seen Kevin Knight do all this amazing stuff. He was like, yo, dad, I could not believe. He was like, you go on my TikTok, you can see his face. He was like shocked. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. So I think Jet Speed is going to do amazing things. As we all know, they're going to win. They already have won. It just hasn't aired yet, So they're going to be doing amazing things this year. I mean, like at this point in time, I don't really see anything else, as far as like, you know, who's going to be breaking out what. I mean, if you want to go to some of the lower promotions, you know what I mean? Like there's some other guys that's doing their numbers, but I mean that's about it, from my end. But I know somebody's gonna pop up in my head later on after the show, and I'm like, oh man, I should have mentioned it, but yeah,
It,
right now.
yeah, I definitely understand that. That happens all the time.
Mhm.
So, guys, I want to thank y'all for again being willing to come on the show. Um, I'm a big believer in giving people their flowers when they can smell them and appreciate them. Y'all are doing some tremendous work. I want y'all to definitely continue that trend and get to where y'all want to get to. Um, again, not only for just your fans, but for everyone else, including me, being a fan of yours, I like to thank y'all and wish y'all so much success that y'all can't stand it. So again, thank you so much, and I definitely appreciate the work y'all doing. It shows that y'all work hard and continue that success.
We appreciate you sending the offer for us to come on there, extending the olive branch. And since I do like the the setting up for our shows, I would like to also extend the olive branch to you to come on our show whenever you have time. If you want to come on the show, I'll shoot you an email after the show and see if you want to set up a time to come on. But we appreciate you seeing our stuff and acknowledging, that these guys do work hard, and it's really, really, really appreciated, especially when people notice how hard you work. So thank you.
Yeah, we're very grateful and appreciative and honored, to be on your show this evening. This is a great opportunity. Like he said, we extended the olive branch. You're welcome to come on the show, and talk your ish. You know what I'm saying? You welcome to come on the show. We have a show that Dub created called State of Professional Wrestling, where it's like uncensored and we really get into the debating and we talk about things. We've had some wild shows on there. Like, the invitation is open, for you to come aboard, and speak about wrestling from your perspective. Yeah, we're just humbly appreciative for the opportunity.
I definitely appreciate it. I definitely will take y'all up. Like you said, we will talk afterwards. But man, again, thank y'all so very much. It's been wonderful, and I definitely see some collabs in the future, and we're gonna continue rocking 2026. And I appreciate y'all. Guys, girls, thank you so much for joining your professor around the campfire again, hearing amazing stories from some great podcasters. And again, as I always love to say, support your local indie wrestling, because you never know who you will see on their journey up into wrestling, where hell, one day they may be the world heavyweight champion WWE. You just never know. So we definitely appreciate you. We will humbly ask you to join me around the campfire again for another great story. I am your professor, Professor Barr, and this has been the Barz Thoughts. Y'all have a great, great evening.